That's right, Molly. You get them, trespassers. All right, welcome back to the homestead. And today we're going to get into a little something. I'm going to talk about, you know, this could actually bust and break and destroy all the homesteads, really. If you don't budget properly, right? If you don't take things into account. And a lot of y'all are just starting out on this journey. So I'm going to share this little secret with you guys, and it's going to help you out a lot, right? And it's also going to help you think about the things you should, you know, really monitor on your homestead, but definitely budget for. Now hopefully you guys have been following the stories about the drought that's kind of been going on, especially down in Texas and these other places, right? And I know some of you guys want to get on your homestead and you want to have a little livestock. Maybe some sheep, you know, these are hair sheep there. That's why I like them, they're hair sheep. You don't have to shave them with the wool. But you guys are going to want to get some animals, maybe some horses like we got for alternative transportation if the grid goes down. And besides, I just like riding the horses and messing with the horses. You might want to get some beef for yourself. Raise a little beef meat for yourself. So you got to take all the stuff into account when you're setting up your homestead, because right now, I don't know, like there were some stories, I don't know if you guys have been following this stuff, but the stories were about the drought and how farmers from up here in Missouri is where I'm at, they were taking their hay down to Texas because they had a drought going down in Texas. They were taking that hay down to Texas and they were bringing livestock back up here because the guys down in Texas, well, they didn't have enough hay to feed their beef down there, so they had to let go of their beef and get some hay for the beef that they could keep, that they could take to market. Now, you have to take into account prices of hay. Now, when we first got out here to the homestead, I mean, we were paying like $2.50, $3 for a square bale of hay like this right here. There was a couple times during this time, we've been here 13 years, that we've had these drought spells and the price of the hay has gone up. So one time it went from like $3, I remember it went to like $4 and $4.50, and that was a big deal. Like, people were barking about it. Wow, look at that, they said. And then it never really settled back down. I never really bought hay for $3 a bale anymore after that. $4 a bale became the normal, and that was good for a couple years. And it's pretty much stayed around $4 a bale. Now, we get these small square bales. You want to think about this as well when you guys are setting up your place, right? The square bales, like I just showed you guys, they're a lot easier to handle, even for the horses and stuff. You have to have a place to store them because we usually get several hundred at a time. I'm going to go through my little program with you. We usually get through several hundred bales a year at a time. So at first we had the Belgians, and I was buying like 400 and something bales, you know, to feed them and to keep the sheep running a year. So it was pretty expensive, just even at $3 a bale. You could do your math. It's like 1,200 bucks, we'll say. 400 bales, $3 a bale, 1,200 bucks. And so I was really doing the math on that and thinking about how much I was using the Belgians. And I decided that I didn't use the Belgians enough to justify all the feed they were gobbling up during the winter time. And in the summertime, even though they're on pasture, they're pretty hard on the pasture. They eat a lot of food. And so I had to move them along. And that's when I started kind of fancying the ideas of getting the John Deere skid steer. And that's actually worked out really well for us. So you guys have to kind of pick and choose your battles. Now, a few years ago, I switched the horses over to the big round bales. Instead of messing with the little bales, I can roll through about 4 or 5 of these a year with them. It works pretty good. Those bales right there are about $35 is what they were normally. $35 for a big round bale of netted hay for the pasture, you know, for the horses. And those bales that I showed you over there, those bales are running $7, $8 a bale. Now, this could literally wipe out an entire homestead's meat program, because a lot of you guys are on a budget, right? Super tight budget, right? Because I remember when we first started this stuff, you know, until you get your systems in place and you start figuring out all the different ways you can make your money on your homestead, things are pretty tight and your budget's pretty tight. So I'm just trying to warn you guys up front right now about this situation with the hay for this year, and I think going forward, A lot of these guys, they took their hay down there and they brought the livestock back, but now they're up here and we didn't have a great second and third cutting of hay, which normally we do, and now there's limited supply of hay up here and they're back in the trick bag. Now these guys are going to probably end up, because you don't want to carry your livestock through winter. Here's a hot homestead tip for you. You guys are feeding your animals through winter, all you're doing is basically keeping them alive. They're not gaining, right? So the idea of your livestock is so they put on weight, and then when they get to a good weight, you take them to market and then you sell by the pound. And when you hold on to your beef and your lambs and, you know, your stuff during the winter time, they're not able to put on any extra weight. They're basically just maintaining, or they're gonna lose a little bit by eating the hay all through the winter. So a lot of these guys, they dump their heavy livestock, you know, right in going into winter time, and you get tax breaks on that, but you dump them right before you're going into winter time, so you're not carrying them through the winter with the hay. I keep 7-8 ewes, not a big deal, but on the back side of that is when they lamb out, they're going to lamb out in winter time, that early, you know, late winter, early spring, and so I'll have to keep feeding them, and then I have to switch over to alfalfa hay, which is a little more rich for the moms, so they can have milk and grow some milk there for the babies. Excited about that, Smokey? You want to get some, huh? I know, I'll break it open for you. Give me a minute here. Saw how he's kind of gnawing on it with his teeth like that. I mean, horses aren't really, they don't eat like that, so I like to break it up for them. It makes it a lot easier for it. That just makes it a little harder. Make sure if you guys are doing this stuff, you get that netting up. Don't leave that netting laying around. That stuff will kill everybody. It kills your chickens. Big mess. This hay doesn't look too bad once you peel her open. A lot of brown on the outside. Make sure if you guys are looking at hay, you go into it. You want to make sure you see green on the inside. That prices of this hay definitely affects the farm life. And if you guys are new to this, if you're getting into this lifestyle, you have to keep this on your radar. Nobody ever really talks about this. You have to budget for the hay, and I would say budget double. So if you guys are going to go through 200 bales and it's $3 in your area, that's 600 bucks. Budget for 1,200. That way you're always leaving a little buffer in there. Some of this hay has gone over 100% up in cost. 100% up in cost. That's just the stone cold facts, and I'm just trying to bring you the truth to keep you guys prepared if you want to live this lifestyle. And if you're already living it, this could be your first year, second year in, and maybe this is blindsiding you. Sorry I was a little late with the information. I've been kind of beating the drum about it if you haven't noticed. But everything you buy at the store, everything you buy everywhere costs more money right now, and I'm afraid it's only going to go up. So you guys stay vigilant out there. If you like this information, make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out. If you're not subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We got more daily videos on the way. We had a lot of stuff to catch up on the homestead with, a lot of stuff going on in the garden we had to put down, ferment, get ready for the root cellar. Just a lot of preparations going on. A lot of preparations already going on for 2023. We got a lot of great information coming out for you guys. See you later. Bye. Had to let Mr. Turkey out. He got caught on the other side of the fence. But before you get out of here, this is another reason why to keep your eye on the food prices going into winter and then spring. All right? Don't get caught flat-footed.